This is the Speak For Yourself podcast featuring the best of Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock. I'm your host, Jason McIntyre. Cowherd out today, so we've got a rotating cast of characters filling in for the big guy. He's tweeting from Mexico, I believe. Colin, don't drink the water. Here we go. Whitlock believes the NBA has turned into the National Beyonce Association with how soft basketball has become. Did he watch Saturday night? I mean, it looked like there was nearly 2 fights in the game, right? Soft? What are you talking about, Whitlock? Fox Hoops analyst Jim Jackson talks about the LeBron Nike commercial and shares some information on his personal relationship with Charles Oakley. Former NFL head coach Eric Mangini, he knows Tom Brady well, talks about whether or not this was Brady's best ever Super Bowl performance. And FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard is here to defend my main man, Charles Oakley. Well, not my main man. I just loved him when he played for the Knicks. And why Jim Dolan, the dopey owner of the Knicks, looks worse in their standoff. Ready for Speak For Yourself? Take it away, Whitlock.
All right, welcome to Speak For Yourself. I'm Jason Whitlock. Colin Cowherd is out, but in his place, we have an all-star panel joined by Fox NBA analyst Chris Broussard, big-time NBA veteran Jim Jackson, former NFL Pro Bowler and Super Bowl champ Eric Davis. All right, guys, let's start in Oklahoma City, where Kevin Durant was once again lights out against his old team this weekend as the Warriors blew out the Thunder. But let's be real, this game was a joke, and all anyone really cared about was seeing Durant's return to his old city and what would transpire in the ongoing feud between himself and Russell Westbrook. To me, it was disappointing that the feud, the sparks between Westbrook and Durant, the bickering back and forth on the court, that was the highlight of the game. I think I went into the game knowing Oklahoma City was going to get drubbed. They don't have the talent to compete against this Golden State team. This is an example to me, Chris, of what I think is a flaw in the NBA. The feuds, the bickering between Dolan and Oakley, Phil Jackson, Carmelo, Durant, and Westbrook, overshadowing the actual content and play on the court.
Well, I mean, the problem is OKC can't compete with Golden State now. I mean, it's one superstar against 4 superstars. And so you had to sell it as drama. You had to sell it as Westbrook versus KD. What are the fans going to do to KD when he returns? Because that was really all that was interesting. You couldn't sell it as the Thunder versus Golden State. It is a problem, but let's not act like it's new. We've always had drama in the NBA, and these types of things are great storylines. They don't think those dramatic storylines didn't draw people in. I mean, that brings people to the television set.
Great play and competition would draw better than drama. Is this Law and Order now?
But the issue is this. It's February, going into All-Star break. You need to get eyes on the TV screen to watch. And this is how you do it. Now, I've been in situations where that has happened before, but I'm going to go back to it. It's an individual sport, basketball is. One-on-one.
It's a team sport.
No, but it's an individual sport in regards to guys that can really go at it. In football, it's a lot. Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning really ain't the two because they're on opposite sides of the ball. With basketball, you're in constant contact with that person, head up all the time. So the drama is always going to be created, especially if it's friction. It could be friction being he should be the MVP compared to him, or these two don't get along. I don't like that it takes away from the game, but I understand why the drama is needed by the network.
And you threw Law and Order out there. No, it's not Law and Order. It's reality television. Sports is the truest form of reality TV, and that's what society is right now. Because you could put in that.
So this is a Desperate Housewives.
Well, you could go in maybe because you could go in and just say our house husbands. You can be all my children might be a better one, but but you can go into it and say, well, the Thunder, if they win this game, you know, they can go from the 7th seed and they still have a shot to be the 4th seed. They're a few games out. The Golden State, they're going to be the number 1 seed. You can put that drama in there that these guys have an opportunity to move up from a playoff standing. Or you can say, these two dudes don't like each other. Which one is going to get more eyes on the television? The two dudes that don't like each other, that could possibly have some type of argument on the court, that it could be some bickering. That's
You're
society
making my
now.
point.
And
That's what goes on.
Look, when Michael Jordan got iced out, supposedly, the All-Star game by Isaiah Thomas, that was a long time ago, but that was drama. When Isaiah and Dennis Rodman said Larry Bird was only great because he was white, that was drama. Like, you always had
Isaiah and
Stockton
by not getting to the Olympic team. So when they played, the hype was not on the Detroit Pistons versus Utah. It was on Isaiah being slighted and him going at John Stockton.
And basketball has always been that way.
Magic was white versus black.
Yeah,
don't
basketball's
act like
always
those
that way.
things
But,
weren't there.
okay, those things were there. They didn't overshadow the actual play on the court. When Isaiah went and gave it to John Stockton, he gave it to John Stockton in a real way that mattered, and I'm sure they probably won the game.
If it was Cleveland and Oklahoma City, or and Golden State, or Golden State and San Antonio, where the teams are evenly matched,
there you go.
Then it wouldn't overshadow.
But you said one team was going to get drubbed. They don't have the players, so there's no reason to build the drama of the two teams when there is none.
They're not a great team, OKC, anymore.
We all agree on how you should market this poor product that we have going on in the NBA, because that's what we have, poor product. I wish Charles Barkley was here to amen me when I said that, but it's poor product. It's soft. It's the National Beyonce Association. It's all about gossip.
They're always going to be bad teams.
It's a barbershop and beauty shop league right now.
They're always going to be bad teams. They're always going to be. Everyone wants that parity, but parity is boring. You're going to have better teams than others, and it happens in every league. You're going to get your Jacksonville versus the Titans in football, where it's a bad game. And everyone's like, those Thursday night games need to go away because the ball is so bad. You just have two bad teams going against it. You don't want to see that. You want the Golden States of the league that come in and have that power team and see if another one can come up and rise to that level. Nobody wants to watch bad ball.
I love my mama. I love my mama to death. But when the league turns into something I can have a better conversation with my mama about than with my boys, the league has a problem. To LeBron James, who is starting a new ad campaign for Nike about equality. Let's take a look.
Is this the land history promised? Here, within these lines, on this concrete court, this patch of turf, here, you're defined by your actions, not your looks or beliefs. Equality should have no boundaries. If we can be equals here,
we can be equals everywhere.
All right, that's LeBron James, and Chris, go ahead and give him a That's a very trite message. You're shocked LeBron believes in equality? Oh, my God.
You don't like that? What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that commercial?
My problem with the commercial is it's marketing, it's a facade. Listen, they didn't set Martin Luther King Jr. and MLK to music, big corporate sponsorship. That, to me, rings of the inauthenticity of the entire thing. Listen, it's a trite little message. It's Nike in my view, trying to go after Trump, and that's all about business. That's not about equality or whatever. Look, man, if they really believe in equality, then quit going over to Asia and getting all that slave labor and then coming over here and selling these $200 shoes to everybody. It just rings inauthentic to me.
You know, the thing I don't like about it is just that I'm tired of the church theme to the commercial. That's what I'm.
Thank you.
I love Sam.
To the civil rights.
But no, here's the thing, because Steph, when he did his commercial, it was a church theme to it, based off LeBron. But I'm gonna say this: is that LeBron, based on his past, what he's been able to do in his community, he's an advocate. He's someone that does have a voice.
Promote that.
Because he's done that. Now, how you put it together. Again, it's always going to be theatrical when you get the Nikes, the Adidas involved. But they are promoting it in this way, in regards to equality across the board. You may not like the message, which I understand, or you may not like the person that's delivering the message.
You don't like the message?
No,
or you don't like the person that's delivering the message.
Listen, man, I think all of us here will agree. We all believe in equality.
Okay.
How do you go about achieving it? Trite little commercials promoted by Nike
he's backed it
to
up.
sell
He's
shoes.
backed it up.
No. Well, promote that. I'm LeBron James. I'm taking the wealth and opportunities I have, I'm investing in my community here in Akron. That's how I promote equality. This little trite, feel-good Alicia Keys and Kevin Durant and Serena Williams and everybody. Listen, the people in Akron and LeBron's trying to help, they're not going to be born 7 foot with a soft, wet jump shot.
But
that's why he's saying give them an equal opportunity.
Exactly. Why not give
That's
them,
exactly what the
We're equals everywhere. Jim Jackson's an equal to him on the court. I'm no equal. Eric ain't no equal.
But that's from God. That's from God. That's born with that.
Now,
they're saying let man make equal opportunities. Give them an equal school, an equal education, equal opportunity to jobs and things like that.
That's what they're trying to get at.
What message are they trying to get at?
They're trying to get at Trump. Damn well they're trying to get at Trump.
I agree with you there, and what I would say is that commercial could have run at any time in American history.
Yeah, absolutely.
Including under President Obama's administration.
And even right now.
So that's I agree with you there.
And even right now.
I like President Obama, king of deportation.
If you're saying it's a trite message, but look at, okay, they're trying to make it snappy. They're trying to reach certain masses. But look at this. But this is the thing.
Candy.
It's a commercial.
But what is more galvanizing? What is more galvanizing than sports? Because sports, and that's what the commercial is trying to say, because sports is an opportunity for it goes beyond regional, it goes beyond racial, it goes beyond economics. That's the one place in the arenas you get people watching from all walks of life. On the court, on the fields, you get people from all walks of life, from every background.
Yeah.
So this right here, and the message is not a bad thing. And I don't think attacking the guys for doing it, the people doing this commercial, just because you're not saying that you're out in the streets and this is what I'm doing in Akron, this is what I'm doing in my neighborhood. They are putting substance behind it.
Okay,
so
what do you say?
Let's try to reach some people that you aren't getting to.
I don't think that's
with
the
message.
point of the commercial. I'm just telling you. The point of the commercial is Nike is at war with Trump because Nike continues to want to be a global company that makes money by exploiting people in Asia, and Trump on his America First stuff is talking about, no, we don't want to do that. Bring those jobs back here to America. That's the real issue at play here.
So do you think the athletes that are in, because that's a good point.
Yeah.
Do you think the athletes don't even understand that? That they don't really know this about globalism versus nationalism?
I think he absolutely does. LeBron goes to China every summer. And LeBron, again, he's tweeting out equality. And what he should have tweeted out was equity and how much equity he has in Nike and how much money he makes with Nike. Nike pays him more than the NBA. And so when they say come out and dance because we got some politics that we don't like, he came out and danced.
Here's my thing, though. He is smart from this perspective. Think about it from the business side.
Yeah.
You use Nike to get your message across. So what he's doing is using that platform.
Can you
They're
Nike's using him to get their message.
But they're using each other. Anytime, look, at Fox, they go use us and promote us a certain way. We got to do the same thing.
Not me, brother. I'm too strong.
Come on. It's the same thing, Jay. It's the same thing. And I see you out there promoted out there on Pico Drive right there. Okay,
you know the hats.
You got to pick up. You know I give it. But you got to use it both ways.
Exactly.
And that's what they're doing.
Message. At the end of the day, that's a good message.
Sam Cooke appreciated it.
Yes.
Y'all know my name.
There's no way that I would disagree with what you're saying Nike is doing.
Y'all know my slogan.
You are right about Nike.
Yeah, but
they are jabbing at Trump.
Jason Whitlock.
Especially with what happened with Under Armour.
Too fat, too strong. Never sell out. All right, welcome back to the show. Eric Davis is back with us, and we're joined now by former NFL head coach Eric Mangini and the founder of the Big Lead, Jason McIntyre. All right, let's start with Tom Brady, who now says that despite his incredible comeback in Super Bowl 51, the game was not one of his best performances, saying, quote, I don't really consider playing a good quarter and a half plus overtime as one of the best games ever. I completely get where Tom is coming from. Again, he did enough early on that they could have lost that game. If Atlanta had simply run the ball in the last 9 minutes, Tom Brady may have lost that game, and so I get where he comes from. He holds himself to a very high standard. But what he needs to remember here is this is the most important game of his storied career. This is the game, I think, above all else, will define Tom Brady. 25-point fell behind, lead deficit to overcome. He did that in the Super Bowl with an incredible performance in the fourth quarter and overtime. And so while, again, from a complete standard, best game, no. But when you come up big in the most important game in your career and define your legacy, I wouldn't run away from calling this my best game.
But this is what I love about Tom Brady is he has absolute perspective on what he did. It was probably the greatest quarter and a half that he's played. To be able to do what he did with that type of pressure, with those type of time constraints, that to me was amazing, and it does define his career because it is so special. But if Tom played his best game, that Super Bowl wouldn't have been close. If he had played two halves like that, it would have been a blowout in favor of New England. So that's what makes Tom great. He has perspective. I played really well for this amount of time. I didn't play very well for the rest of the time. So I agree with his assessment.
There is something about delivering, though, in a big game.
No, it's huge. Yes. It's huge. But if he had played well, they would not have been behind by 25 points.
Yeah, I mean, they won the game. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you want to play well enough to win the game. That's what he did. But you have to evaluate what's happening. Just everybody gets graded. It's never as good as you think. It's never as bad as you feel when you sit down and watch the film. And Tom is telling the truth. The first half, as you said, it was a reason they were down 21-0. He was missing open receivers. He wasn't reading coverages properly. It was very un-Tom-like.
The pick six?
Yeah, so then he found himself in a situation where he did some great things that got them back, and that's the reason they ultimately won the game. But I agree with, and I know where you're going. You're trying to say for his legacy, he should say this is the best I ever played and won to the
I'm with you.
sunset.
Most memorable, this one. But the comeback against the Seattle Seahawks, the Legion of Boom, best defense in the league. They were down 10 in the fourth quarter. He went the length of the field twice in the final 8 minutes. This is more about the Atlanta choke, as we said, than the Patriots comeback. That Legion of Boom defense was the best in the league,
466 yards.
Yeah. And I think when you look at it, you could say it's the Atlanta choke, but there was a lot of things that he had to do right throughout that quarter and a half for it to happen the way that it happened. And to me, it's his absolute poise and his absolute calm in those moments. And being on the sidelines with him, you always felt that way. There was never a sense of panic when you were behind because you knew you had Tom Brady. All you had to do was do your job, and he would get you to where you needed to go.
And he played better in the Seattle game that you're talking about. But the reason you don't think about what Tom did in that game is because he wasn't on the field. You always remember the last offense on the field. You remember everyone. It still talks about they should have run the ball. Beast mode should have gotten the ball, as opposed to remembering that the reason that they were in that situation is that Tom had driven the team down the field to get them the lead.
Sometimes, though, I'm going to go back to what he may be forgetting. And I respect his modesty. I respect his self-awareness. I respect that he realizes, damn, I almost did some things that cost us the game. I get that. But Joe Namath played one great game or one memorable game in his entire career, and that was Super Bowl III. He guaranteed it. He delivered. They won. That made his entire career. There is something to performing at the highest level when you absolutely have to in the biggest spot of your career. A lot of people, we can talk about Atlanta choking, but a lot of people would have melted underneath the mistakes that put them in a 25-point hole.
Of course.
They would have tried to do too much. They would have forced some things and doubled up and made the mistakes worse. Again, I get Tom's self-awareness, but I'm just telling you, I think 30 years from now, I think he will realize that is my best game.
I don't think so, because I think Tom is still thinking about the next Super Bowl. He's not finished.
The next 4 years.
That's what you're forgetting. Tom's not finished. He plans on getting there again.
But that's why he's not finished, is because he doesn't look at this as being the bow on his career. This to him is just like, I really should have played a better first half.
That's not
that's how he's looking at it. When
I say this is the bow on his career, he doesn't know it yet, but it is.
Well, we don't know because we don't know what next year's going to bring the year after.
Those first 3 quarters, I think, are more truthful about where Tom is at 39 than the last quarter and a half.
Gosh,
I really believe
Whitlock's
that.
right.
I really believe
Well, he wasn't alone in those
What
first
about
three
the
quarters
other
either.
games he played the entire
But I
season?
get it. I get it. But again, those first three quarters, that's more about what 39.
I'm sorry.
Father Time
you
is
or
undefeated.
Giselle, neither one of you are going to get him to stop. I'm
Father,
not happy.
Father Time's undefeated. All right, welcome back to the show. Chris Broussard, Eric Davis, Eric Mangini are back with us. Let's talk Patriots, several of whom have said they will not attend the team's visit to the White House in protest of President Trump. Patriots owner Robert Kraft claims the media is making too much of this.
Every time we've had the privilege of going to the White House, a dozen of our players don't go. This is the first time it's gotten any media attention. But this is America. We're all free to do whatever's best for us.
Listen, I happen to agree. I think Robert Kraft makes a great point here in terms of this has been going on with teams visiting the White House for years. We're all focused on it because it's President Trump. It's somewhat of a racial issue right now. It makes for good headlines and good copy. But maybe we are making too much of this. And then I would say on the other side, I also think the players are making a mistake. If they strongly disagree with President Trump, the strongest thing you could do is show up at the White House and let him know in some way. Craig Hodges won 2 NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls, and the second time they won the championship, he went to the White House, took a letter that he wrote to President Bush, and expressed his displeasure with the way that minorities and poor people were being treated. I think that takes more courage and is more effective than any type of protest or ban. But I tend to agree with Bob Kraft. We may be blowing this out of proportion.
Well, I agree that players don't go to the White House. Each year there's some guys that miss it, but this is a little bit different in the sense that they've expressed why they're not going. Mm-hmm. Some of the other guys, it may have been family matters. It's very clear why these players have chosen not to go to the White House. In terms of being able to use that as a forum to discuss issues, I've been there 3 times, and it's not like you're spending time with the president discussing issues.
How about Donald Trump, though?
It's a photo op. It's a photo op.
How about Donald Trump?
But it's still going to be
No, I understand that, but you go there, you get the moment, everybody takes a
Donald
picture.
Trump. Hardcore sports fan, loves athletes.
Obama,
Obama was a pretty big.
Yeah.
Did he own a USFL team?
No,
and
but
all
you're a
this?
hardcore sports fan and
sports
really cared about it. And you have those guys in there. You're not going to have the opportunity to engage. And I actually think it's a good forum for the guys to use, because if you're not going to have that opportunity, you can still write the letter. You can still say that. But you have some guys who aren't household names. Because they're doing this, because there's an invitation to the White House being turned down, you can make a statement in this social media world that you can make a statement that people will pay. But I'm saying you can make it and you can start a conversation. That's what a lot of these things is, getting the conversation started. These aren't the people. We aren't the rule makers. We aren't the lawmakers. But you can start the conversation, and if you get a loud enough conversation going, then you have an opportunity to get something going.
I agree. Look, I think the best way to do it would be like Craig Hodges. Go there, give him a letter in an envelope, and tell him what it's about. And, you can make a statement that way. But I agree with you that second to that, this is creating a buzz. This is sounding the alarm. And to me, that's what the athletes can do. They have a platform, and they can sound the alarm and raise awareness, and then let other people who work in this full time, who understand policy, understand law, understand what's best for the marginalized communities that they say they want to represent, and then let them take it from there. Most athletes aren't as deep in terms of this stuff as Craig Hodges was. So most of them don't really know what they would want to say necessarily. So in that being the case, I think this is an effective way of protest if somebody takes it from there.
And what's going to be interesting is to see if it gains any more momentum.
Yep.
I mean, we're at a small group right now. As it gets closer to the White House visit, are we going to gain players? Are there going to be more guys who make that decision? And it keeps that conversation going.
And other teams, too. Trump will probably, if this continues, he would probably eventually just
have a little private dinner for Kraft, Belichick, and Brady. But I want to say this. What about the players that choose to go or want to go but are afraid of the backlash? If I'm an African-American player on that team and I choose to go, I think there could be some backlash against that person and maybe some pressure on that person to not go.
Well, I think also, just like you have the right to not to say this is not how I feel, you have the right to go, and some may be going to do just what we're talking about on this panel, to say I'm going to try to say something and try to voice my opinion. Some may completely say that I'm fine with this visit, I earned this visit, I'm going to go to this visit, and I'm not going to make it about politics, because there are a lot of people that can compartmentalize and put that. Ball players in general can compartmentalize. So you might just have that. There are a lot of different reasons why. I don't think there's going to be a tremendous backlash on anyone for going, no more than for people saying, I don't want to go.
It could, though. And that's I think what you're saying, and I agree, the black athletes that do go shouldn't be labeled Uncle Toms and sellouts and all that. I mean, look at what happened with Jim Brown, Kanye West. Most of the black people who have visited, the white visit with Trump, they did get labeled those things. So even a man like Jim Brown, who's done great things.
But different kind of visits, though.
But it is.
They went on real business, or Jim Brown went on real business to really engage.
But people looked at it.
But it is an incredible experience that these guys have earned by winning a championship, and maybe they want the experience of going to the White House and don't want politics to be part of it. That's not fair to judge them based off that decision either.
I also think that this could pressure the Trump administration to maybe doing some things for the black community. Like right now, supposedly, they're working on an executive order for historically black colleges and universities. Now, that's if they're indeed doing it, as been reported, that's probably a response to all the claims of racism and things like they don't like black people and all that.
Or maybe a belief that we should be in charge of educating our own, like Booker T. Washington used to talk about. All right, welcome back. Chris Broussard, Eric Davis, and Jim Jackson are back with us. Anybody want to guess what the B stands for in the National Basketball Association?
Beyonce. Didn't you say Beyonce earlier?
Yeah. All right, let's go to New York, where the feud between James Dolan and Charles Oakley is heating up. Dolan sat courtside with Latrell Sprewell yesterday, while Spike Lee made clear whose side he was on with a number 34 jersey. Oakley has gotten support from all over, including players like Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, and even LeBron James endorsed Oakley for president.
That was a joke.
I know it was a joke. Listen, I'm not caping up for James Dolan. Terrible owner.
But
I don't think there's proof that he's a terrible human being, particularly as it relates to African Americans. James Dolan, again, terrible owner. But if you're looking at who's the bad guy in this situation, it's got to be Charles Oakley.
Why?
49, 50-year-old man.
He went to sit in his seat, and he gets ordered out by 10 security guards.
Chris, brother, if security comes up to you right now, say, hey, brother, we'd like for you to step off this stage. We would like to have a conversation with you. They'd like you off the stage. Are you going to push somebody?
First of all,
are you going to push somebody?
Did I pay $2,500 for this seat?
Are you going to push somebody?
Number one. Number two,
if you had paid
they didn't go to Oakley like that. They didn't go.
They did. I read the list. I read their list. It's like,
we'd like to.
Brother, that's what they said.
You got to understand Oak. I've been knowing Oak since I've been in high school.
He's a bully.
No, he's not.
Oh, come on,
he's not.
Jim.
No, he's not. Oak really never initiates art. Now, he didn't like Barkley. I will say that.
Okay.
But a lot of times, Oak always was a guy that stood back. Now, once you push this button, you put him there. Now, what Oak doesn't like is this. If I tell you don't touch me, don't touch me.
Oh, so he's above the law. The law can't put their hands on.
I'm not saying it's right, wrong. At the end of the day, it makes him look bad. Forget
Luka
James Dolan
James
Dolan go be there.
Yeah.
It makes Oak look bad, and I don't care what happens. Dolan is going to be there unless he wants to just give away whatever he wants with the Knicks. Oak could have been right in that situation, but it still makes him.
All the support for him is misguided.
And I love Oak.
What's misguided would be making him a hero.
Well,
Charles Oakley for president. That's misguided.
I think that was a shot for LeBron.
Support at Trump.
Spike Lee.
Hey, who knows?
Spike Lee with the jersey.
Dan Gilbert.
Hold on. Supporting Oakley is not misguided.
Right.
The Knicks did say in the press release, we hope he gets the help he needs. James Dolan did go on the radio and say he's an alcoholic. He's probably an alcoholic. We think he needs Dolan was had problems with substance abuse.
Takes
I'm
one to
sure
know
it's
one.
not in the AA handbook that's how you deal with a person that you think has substance abuse issues. You put them on blast on the radio.
But I see where you're going, Jason. It's just overwhelming support and saying that Oak did nothing wrong. I just think that's misguided because you just said you know Oak, and I don't know him.
Belligerent.
But no, this is the thing. For security.
Jim knows. Jim got to be careful because if he sees Oak.
But no, this is the thing.
Man, I ain't worried about that.
This is the thing. This is the thing. You talking the $2,500 seats. You walk in, you sit in your seat. Something happens before security comes. Something is said. Something is done. It's a bad look for him to be arrested in that arena on all sides. I get that. But you can't walk into somebody else's house and not follow the rules.
No,
it's
I
that
agree.
simple.
I don't know who's telling the truth. But Oakley says he didn't say anything once he sat down. Now, maybe in the lobby in the fourth, but that was after they, again, not justifying it, but they approached him. If he indeed went there and for 4 minutes was just sitting there talking casually with the people around him, and then 10 security guards come up and say, "We want you out of here," that's a problem. Not that he should hit him, but that's not fair.
This is what the police and security do to people. When they've been given orders of, hey, we want you out of there. Look, I showed you this morning. Show the Don't Tase Me, bro. Do y'all remember Don't Tase Me, bro, in Florida?
Do
y'all remember? Can we see it again?
Right?
What do you mean? It's not that.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Get the off me, man. I didn't do anything. Don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me. I didn't do anything. Ow! Ow!
Let's go back to the backdrop a little bit more. And you know this, it's a history between Dolan and Oak. Him being outspoken in regards to the direction of the New York Knicks. So it's a bad blood there. Oak not being invited back into the fold as one of the players.
How about shut your mouth?
Wait. But he has a right to voice his opinion. Now, Dolan has a right as an owner on what he wants to do. Something happened, and I agree with you on this, Eric. When Oak came in, whether it was when he got in the arena right by Dolan, whether somebody said something, because Oak is not the type where he's going to go up and just go into Dolan's face. He's not. Not like that in that
Do you think he was behind him for Rose yelling stuff at?
I think something happened, and again, I
and
don't
remember,
know.
even if you pay for your ticket, you look at the fine print. They can kick you out.
No, they can kick you out.
If he's doing that, I agree. If he's sitting back there yelling racial expletives and sexual stuff,
Ain't nobody saying
But
that.
hold on. The witnesses said stuff like that he was saying that type of stuff. Now, all the witnesses happen to work for the Knicks. That's why I'm saying it's not one normal customer.
Here's what I don't like, and please don't go too far with this analogy, but I'm just saying, this is what social media does. It clouds the truth. Charles Oakley is the bad guy here. And somehow social media, the fun thing to do over social media, free Oakley. And again, I'm not analogizing Oakley to this example, but I saw it in Cincinnati with remember the free Harambe thing? The guy almost killed a child. And then it became the fun thing to do is to argue, they mistreated Harambe. Yeah, a child almost died. This man is being a bully. The security came up and was like, hey, brother, we'd like to talk to you.
Why are you softening? Why are you? That's what I'm saying.
I'm just
with Oakley, you go overboard.
I'm trolling you, Chris.
This is the Speak For Yourself podcast featuring the best of Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock. I'm your host, Jason McIntyre. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast, everybody. A lot of fun today, a lot of fun all week. Remember, subscribe to us on iTunes, tell all your friends. We're also on SoundCloud and YouTube. We're on Twitter. Fire away questions to the SFY handle. Speaking of seeing your questions, a lot of you guys came after me on social media for defending Kevin Durant and saying OKC fans should have cheered. I'm telling you, they take their cues from Russell Westbrook. And Westbrook was angry, and he kept talking trash. And there were some altercations between Roberson and Durant. And everybody should have really given Durant an ovation. And even Westbrook should have been kind and nice to him and just said, hey, man, we were boys for 8 years. No beef, not personal, just business. I get it. I'm going to go hard at you, but at least show some props to the guy for spending 8 years in Oklahoma City. He tried. He played his heart out. Again, 8 seasons in OKC, 4 conference championship visits. And you're going to boo that? And you're going to call them cupcake? Man, I am ride or die Warriors right now, folks. They have smacked down OKC. 3 meetings. They've won by an average margin of victory of 21 points. Who are you guys still going to boo? Huh? You booing Charles Barkley in Philadelphia after he left? After Kevin Garnett forced his way out of Minnesota? He got cheered. They cheered Steve Nash when he came back to Phoenix. All similar situations. OKC fans need to grow up. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you tomorrow.